Hello, this is Kamari, and welcome to a Very Cherry podcast. I was going to read 5 books for this episode, and I honestly read one and a half. I failed at my goal miserably, but I enjoyed these books nonetheless. The first book on the list is The Detective's Apprentice by Edward Kendrick. The book was okay, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. The thing that bothered me most about the book was not the plot, though the plot did irk me at times. But we will get to that later. The thing that annoyed me the most was the point of view switching. The book is mostly written in third person, but there were paragraphs inserted that were in first person. They were supposed to be thoughts of the characters, but they were not emphasized or italicized in any way, shape, or form for me to know what was happening. My second annoyance was actually at the characters in the plot. One of his characters is a victim of abuse and has been homeless for years. This character was just not adding up. So he's been homeless but somehow missed that a storm was happening when his usual hangouts were empty or that all his other homeless friends were hightailing it to the shelters at night. It was just weird. There's also the sexual abuse story in which, in my personal opinion, I know that each person who was abused acts differently, but this was intense. I did not expect this. He went through a lot, and to me, it just seemed he was too trusting. It also seemed like he had no one, which I find odd for a theater kid. If you're in theater, at least to me, you have at least 20 friends minimum. Always. There was no one for him to contact, like at all. It just seemed odd. In general, it read like Sterek fanfiction. Stiles and Derek from Teen Wolf, the television series, if anyone does not know. I honestly think that might be the only reason I finished the book because they fit the Stiles and Derek trope so well. The ending underwhelmed me a lot. I thought it would be the younger character ending up in the hospital or something that would test their interest in each other, but that did not happen. I would give it a 2 out of 5 just because I was able to finish it without being offended, but I wouldn't recommend or brag about it to a friend. The next book on the list was Awakening the Shy Miss by Bronwyn Scott. This book I actually really enjoyed. I did not finish it at the time of this recording, but I'm working on finishing it now because I want to read the third book in the set. I won't call it a series because they can be read individually, but this one is the second book of the Wallflower to Wives set. All of the women are friends and go through different romance arcs. I love it and will finish it this month. One thing I like is that she is inexperienced but not naive. She knows her position, but she is not innocent. She is aware of the whole time of her feelings for the prince and goes after him knowingly. She admits that to herself and him pretty quickly. I also love that her initial love interest turns out to be an ass. He really is. That is the only way I can classify him. He is horrible, but it adds much more depth because you know she is being tricked, but she does not know quite yet. The one argument I have is that I am surprised she doesn't notice Andrew's lack of attention for her, because he obviously gets around and is much nicer to the other women in town than her. It's odd that she realizes her place in her family and in society's eyes, but doesn't really acknowledge the fact that Andrew truly does not view her as important. A little bit annoying, but easily gotten over because of how much I love the interaction between her and the prince. Now, as I stated before, I did not read the rest of the books on my list and will not be finishing them, except maybe the third book in the Wives to Wallflowers. I have been preparing for the NaNoWriMo and working as well. So I will just let this list go for now. In the next episode, I will be reading and reviewing romance graphic novels. I already have a list of what I plan to read, and it will be up on my blog. My blog name is kamaricherry.blog. That is KAMARYCHERRY.blog. There, I have other blog posts as well as the scripts for the episodes. I am aiming to have the next episode up in December. Follow me on Twitter and check out my blog for more updates. I will be uploading the episodes on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Poppy. If you've listened this far, thank you, and I hope you had a great time and see you in the next episode.